Race hustlers.
You know, they say about America, they say diversity is our strength.
How precisely is diversity our strength?
You got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it.
You're right. They're godless. That is exactly right. I never talk like that, but it's true.
Black people are violent. You know?
In this video, we expose the racial tactics used by both the left and the conservative right. We also dive into the FBI statistics that show exactly who is committing the most crimes in three specific categories: the RAPE category, homicide, and violent assault. And then we'll break down the solution as to how we can heal this 400-year divide that is tearing America apart at the seams. Allow us to dive in.
The lineage of evil. Oh my goodness. So one thing many people still don't believe or understand is that there is a lineage of evil, that there are a group of people who are here to kill, steal, and destroy. And for some reason, they have a focus on Black Americans. Damn, I don't know why, maybe you can tell me in the comments, but nevertheless, that is what they are here to do. And what they try to do is put out this veneer of, well, we're not here to kill, steal, and destroy. We just want to help y'all, okay? That's the argument that they love putting forward when it comes to Chicago. Well, we just want what's best for the Blacks in Chicago. That's what it has to deal with. When it comes to all their racial false statistics, like 1350. Well, it's about what's best for Black people. We want to end the crime with Black people.
As you can see, this is a prime example of the race hustling tactics used on the right. This gentleman, he speaks in a way that goes against the reality of what's going on, especially when it comes down to Chicago. These Chicagoans who are killing and maiming each other day in and day out, they need the police in their communities. This is an actual fact. This doesn't take away from, yeah, there may be some racist undertone with the police, but the fact is these individuals need to be policed. It is what it is.
We want them to get off of social welfare. That's what we want. The list goes on. Now, you may have thought that. Hell, even I may have thought that at one point in time in my life. But it contradicts the history, the lineage of evil. Because we didn't destroy Black Wall Street.
Now he's about to dive into the victimhood spiel, which is prominent among the race hustlers on the left, who happen to be mostly Black. All right, we'll let him dive in, and then we'll switch paces and gears back to Nick Fuentes and see his race hustling tactics. Allow us to continue.
It contradicts the history, the lineage of evil, because we didn't destroy Black Wall Street. When it comes to our civil rights leaders, we didn't destroy our civil rights leaders, whether it was MLK or Malcolm X. We didn't destroy them. Hell, when we look at Fred Hampton, who was like, hey.
So this young man in his race hustling state of being is using what I refer to as the rearview mirror race hustling tactic, meaning that he's constantly bringing up the past. Those who cannot acknowledge, yes, the government has been a legal thorn in the ass of Black people, are delusional. But at the same time, race hustlers go to the extreme. They are perpetually looking back, trying to litigate the past. Yes, the past was evil. Yes, the government did what it did. But at the same time, we're in 2025. That situation no longer exists to that degree or to much of a degree. However, there are race hustlers on the right who deny anything is tied to the government's treatment of Black people, the terrible treatment and the legal oppression that they put on Black people. And we'll examine these individuals and we'll break them down and dismantle them as well. I give it to both those race hustlers on the left and I give it to those race hustlers on the right, allow us to bring the racist individual Nick Fuentes and a few more. And one thing you want to know about those racists on the right is they like to cloak their racism under the guise of religion. I'm a Christian, I'm a Catholic, etc. So if you are of these religious faith, and this is how you carry yourself, it says a lot about your religion. That's a side note. Let's dive in and bring these individuals on the stage.
Chaos and violence in their communities.
Send the military into these black neighborhoods, make the streets safe. They'll complain about it. It doesn't matter.
We should send in the troops if necessary to restore order.
Enough with the Jim Crow stuff. Who cares? Oh, and to drink out of a different water fountain. Big fucking deal.
Oh, the legacy of Jim Crow. That was 67 years ago. It is ancient history now.
Russia. Can we give a round of applause?
So you've just been exposed to the race hustling tactics of those racist white race hustlers. They are stuck in the mindset of selective amnesia, meaning that nothing that blacks have ever went through had a generational effect. It only affected blacks at the time. But yet these are the same individuals, the Tucker Carlsons, the Nick Fuentes, who will cry about DEI, who targeted white men as if it would destroy white men's ability to be able to do things. And it did hamper white men because it was legal to deny white men certain opportunities because of a system that the government put in place. This is the reason why, again, they are hypocritical. They cry about DEI, but they deny the historical DEI of the past. And this is why you cannot be an honest human being and not be filled with racial bias and or racism in your heart to look at these things and try not to accept that two things can be true. Of course, the brutality and evil of the founding fathers that they heaped upon black people had a significant effect on the black progress. And of course, Jim Crow, which was done for 100 years, had a significant impact on the progress of black people. Skip on up into the 1980s, the Iran-Contra scandal, where they allowed drugs, the CIA, into the black community and flooded the community with drugs. And in 94, wanted to make racist crime bills that punished those who sold or used crack cocaine 100 times that of those who used cocaine. Black cocaine at that time, crack cocaine at that time was a black drug. Cocaine at that time was a white drug. These politicians, Democrats, in 94, Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, they knew what was going on and they passed that type of bill. So these individuals have selective amnesia. They are in denial. They have no empathy for what this government has done. And even with that being the case, myself, I'm still America first. I'm not MAGA. I'm not with these individuals. I called them out. Nick Fuentes is a racist individual who only is making a name for himself because he's spewing race hatred. Tucker Carlson, he cloaks his racism under the guise of being a good Christian, etc. And some of the stuff I agree with him on certain things, but other things he has to be exposed for what he is as well. So again, these individuals on both sides of the equation are egregious. Those black race hustlers are egregious. Those white race hustlers are egregious. Now let's bring up the FBI statistics and show who really is committing the most crimes. Allow me to bring that on. Okay, we'll keep this brief. What you're looking at is the document that's showing what and who is really committing the most crimes in 3 specific categories: the RAPE category, homicide, as well as violent assault. Allow me to switch over to the doc, and we're gonna go through this briefly, and we'll get you on up out of here. All right. So it says homicide, murder, and negligent manslaughter. So it says in 2023 data, FBI, let me highlight this for you guys. Status, 8,842 murder offenders. That's white. 6,405 murder offenders. That's black. We'll skip over the others because we're dealing with white and black at this time. Now, we're going to come down to some notes. It says that, again, and this doesn't, in no way, shape, or form, I'm trying to say that the egregious amount of murders that are committed by blacks, just because it doesn't exceed the actual numbers of the white, is acceptable. It is not, because the black culture that we have embraced is vile, vulgar, and detrimental to any progress that black people as a collective want to see. So again, in no way, shape, or form, me showing you these things will take away from the egregious and the vile behavior that any group of individuals may engage in. All right. So it says in 2019, black individuals accounted for 51.2% of murder arrests, despite being 12.5% of the population. Whites accounted for a lower proportion relative to their 72% of the population share. So, okay, yeah, blacks in percentage-wise do commit more murder percentage-wise, but actual numbers of the actual Americans who are actually affected by murder, whites outspace blacks by over 2,000. So more than 2,000 more victims are victims of murder or negligent homicide. Manslaughter. Now let's slide down to this. We're dealing with that word right there. I don't want to say it because I don't want to get any strikes. And let's look at these statistics. White individuals, 69.6%. Let me highlight this for you. On the RAP arrests, approximately 16,000 out of 23,000 total RAP arrests, based on 69.6% of the total arrests. So, irregardless of the percentage, in this case, the total number of arrests and the percentage number of arrests for the RAP is going towards white people. You understand what I'm saying? So again, Nick Fuentes, with his race hustling rhetoric, he would not tell you these numbers. So it says blacks, 26.7% of the RAP arrests, approximately 6,000 out of 141 out of 23 total RAP arrests. You understand what I'm saying? So whites outstrip blacks by 10,000 more RAPs than blacks, and their percentage was higher. Now, let's come on down and we'll finish out with this violent assault. In 2019 FBI data, 69.4% of aggravated assault arrests, approximately 249,000 out of 358 total arrests, based on 69.4% of total arrests being white. Again, 69% of these violent assaults are committed by whites. Blacks commit 33.2% of the total of the aggravated assaults arrests, approximately 118,856 out of 358,000. Okay, so whites outcommit blacks total number in that by over 131,000 more individuals violently assaulted by whites. Again, I'm not saying this to try to minimize anything when it comes to black criminality or white criminality. But these race hustlers, both on the left, who are normally black, and both on the right, who are usually racist individuals, not all of them, but a lot of them are, who would say they are not racist. But again, their rhetoric, and when they spit out these things without bringing out the numbers, then if you're doing it in that way, either you have not did your research or you are intentionally misleading your audience. And this is what we must come to understand. So the solution is this. We as individuals who understand that they are race hustling on the right and race hustling on the left, we must view them for who they are, establish our understanding by going into the numbers and the facts on anything, and dealing with people not solely because of their race or their religion, but based truly on what it is that they represent. And you can find out what almost any individual represent when you examine them. And this is how we come to a solution to start to mend the divide as best as it can be mended. Make no doubt about it, we will never be a united people, black or white. And you have divisions within black and divisions within white. But we can start to minimize this type of rhetoric and put a halt to some of the falsehood that these individuals spit out. And some of them are indeed pure racists. Nick Fuentes is a pure racist. He has produced nothing of value besides his hated rhetoric, and this has gotten him popularity. And this is what gets many people popularity. He's brought nothing of significance to the table except for race baiting and race hating. All right. Again, if you like the video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that bell so we can pick up the algorithm. I would love to hear your comments in the bottom. Check out these videos right here. Have a beautiful day. Sending you peace and always love. Peace.